What is going on, my YouTube friends, Patreon friends, all our mutual friends in the Renegade sphere and the Disco Doc sphere? I'm joined here with Christine, and Jen, right? Did I get that right? Yeah.
Yep, you did.
Come on, let's have some applause for me.
Yeah.
And we are here for an early viewing of To bAI or Not bAI. And I kept saying it as Bay and like trying to announce or pronounce it those ways. And I thought that was fun.
Bay.
But y'all won a caption contest, and that's what got you here the day before release. Correct? I have so many things going on. Yeah. I try to keep them all straight, and it's impossible sometimes. But all right, without further ado, let me know if you need anything. Just start talking if you want me to pause it, or like if you have something to interject with, you can like put your hand up or something. But hopefully y'all can hear it. I guess we didn't sound check either, but here we go. And then I just got to pull up my little shit for you.
Yes. You're pulling up your little shit for us.
Hello. Hi, Jess. Can you screen record too?
Can I screen record too? Yeah, absolutely. Do you want me to record me and the screen? Like my face too? Okay. Can I do both is the real question. Look how good Doc looks, eh?
You did get a nice upgrade.
Sure. Just the screen is fine. It's just a backup.
Just a backup? Okay. Okay, here, let's just keep going on this. I'm a pretty prolific
How's my
interviewer.
favorite Canadian former audio technician YouTube reactor doing?
Nervous.
Thanks for agreeing to this interview. It's great to finally meet.
I would do anything for the Disco Doc. I like to set a little intention in these things kind of early. So I would like to, my goals for today are to provide a safe and a curious environment for us to be able to explore this relationship, and hopefully for you to be able to connect in the way that you're hoping to connect. And if you would like to share a little intention, I would love for you to take a second to think about that. While I find my notes. I was going to say, yep.
I'd like the world to get to know a little more about me, without revealing my identity. So everything I say today will be absolutely true, no tricks or lies. And of course I'd like to get to know more about you and connect more. I see you as a real friend.
Awesome, man. That sounds like a great time for us to hang out. Sounds like we've got similar intentions. Nobody's using each other. Two consenting adults. All right, my friend. Why don't you start with introducing yourself a little bit? We all know you as Disco Doc. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that makes Disco Doc? Where are you from? Does your heart live where you feel like you live? Tell me about yourself for a second.
Okay. I suppose the first thing to say is that I am an actual human being, not an AI. And there is only one of me. Some people still seem to think that I am 100% algorithm.
Now, I don't want to interrupt you, but I do want to ask you about the 100% algorithm thing. Does that put any pressure on your thought process when you have to make human decisions?
Can you rephrase the question?
You select all the boxes with a bicycle.
What's that?
Can you select all the boxes with a bicycle?
Yeah. Can I also play it on 1.25 speed?
I'm not sure. He says he's just one person though, because I mean,
no, he didn't say I'm just one person. He said there were other words. There's only one me or something like that.
Do you want me to back it up?
I'm just saying. I got some trust issues from this. All right.
Algorithm thing. Does that?
Well, just the way that everything's worded, he said no tricks, but we're going to go maybe with exact words. So there is only one Disco Doc persona.
Put any pressure on your thought process when you have to make human decisions? I backed it up.
Can
Sorry.
you rephrase the question?
Can I rephrase the question? So if I were a believer that you were 100% an algorithm, does that put any pressure on you? Like you feel like you need to have the correct answer, the right answer all the time, instead of like an emotional answer?
It's funny because people assume that I have access to behind-the-scenes info about certain artists, and just maybe I do. But finding that balance of what to reveal and what not to, and when, that can be tricky.
You know, though, you've got a wit and like a charisma about you that seems like you have an inside scoop. And there's so many synchronicities between how you speak and how you present yourself to some of these artists that we follow and react to, that like I totally get that. I get both sides of it. It almost feels... What's that?
Disco Doc's spelling and just his attention to the way things are organized in a sentence. But he pays a lot more attention than, say, any other artists that might be confused for Disco Dark. Which could be an intentional thing, which might, take a whole lot more effort or,
Do y'all ever find that like there's certain things that make you, that like bring out your superpowers?
I'm still looking for my superpowers.
Like
I'm a late bloomer, Jesse.
I'm not an organized person. I'm not like a naturally clean person. But when I have the right project, oh boy, I am like, I can't stop. It's all I can think about. I'm focused. I have that, like, I can see that executive function like process, but it's only certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Only certain things.
Yeah. I definitely, if there's something that I'm really geeking out about, like I have spreadsheets, I've got, everything is connected. I've got notes, and that doesn't translate into any kind of marketable skill.
That's okay. Does it translate into making you happy?
It does.
Then that's all that you need, right?
We'll see.
Yes, that's all you need.
Feels robotic. It's quick. Oh, see, I want to pivot from that. I want to take a pivot from that because that was a great setup. I feel like he dodged my question. Find the one I want to.
I feel like that's going to happen a lot.
So when it comes to balancing your output and your efforts to communicate with your community, but without giving too much away, I've seen you do videos, I've seen you do reaction videos, documentaries, and music. Can you tell me about some of the human things that you've explored in that? Are you a musician in your own time? Have you done any filmmaking or any of these kind of things?
Haha. Well, it's safe to say that music is very important to me.
I imagine it would be.
I can confirm that I do play more than one instrument, and I am self-taught. And yeah, I've put a few original songs out there.
Can you speak to some of your musical influences? It maybe even just like a style or two.
Off the top of my head, I love the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, Pink Floyd, lots of reggae, the Streets, System of a Down. I was big into the rave scene at one time. Pretty much all music, to be honest.
Love it. I love it. I just watched a documentary on Keith Richards. It's called Under the Influence, and I watched another one called Count Me In, and they talk lots about the Stones. They talk lots about the Beatles. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. Great bands. Y'all listen to those bands?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Those bands were at the core. They were at the core of like me falling in love with music, and I shared that with my sons too, who are just now getting into their 20s, but they love them too.
Ah, that's so much fun. That's true music, true art. I love it. Does your... let's talk about your age a little bit. Does that... Are these bands that you listen to, are they depictive of your age? Do you listen a little bit outside of your age category? I like listening to bands that are like 30 years older than me. So...
Ooh, that's a cheeky one. I'll just say that. I am male, aged 30 to 50, white British.
Does that exclude Harry? Isn't Harry German? Anyone?
I don't know. Harry wasn't on my list.
I don't know who Harry is.
Ah. Oh, okay. He's a prolific and well-educated, knowledgeable fan on the rabbit hole who people have surmised many times might be Disco Duck.
Interesting.
And, but I think he's German. So if everything that Disco Duck is saying is true and Harry is German, then Harry is not Disco Duck.
Okay.
I'm math.
Who's taking notes?
Yeah, I just did. I had to find my pen because I'm like, that changes some shit right there.
New piece of the puzzle, eh?
New piece of the puzzle. It's all coming
Okay. Okay. Not beating around the bush here, eh? How is being British
So how are
and
you?
being between 30 and 50? How was the... What's that?
I said tough audience. It's got to be hard interviewing AI.
Oh, yeah. Wait until my cat starts goofing around and I'm trying to pay attention still. Oh, it gets bad. The upbringing for your time. How was your experience?
Great question. My parents separated when I was growing up, and that was difficult. I found solace in friendships, parties, music and weed and psychedelics. Yeah, it took me years to get round to doing the difficult work, emotionally, and process it all.
A similar placement when it comes to my escapism. Find that it's easier to hide in the excitement than it is to confront whatever it is that's going around. That was at least my experience.
I mean, therapy helped. A lot.
How did that, what you're describing now, I don't want to interrupt you, so keep going if you have anything else. But how did that bear on your mental health? And actually, let's just start with that. How did that bear on your mental health? How did that help you with development?
Similar, really. Over the years, I've had one really bad experience in therapy, one mediocre, and two absolutely exceptional, that transformed my life from that point on. But you have to be ready, and I wasn't at first.
But by you have to be ready, and you wasn't at first. Do you mean that you weren't ready to confront or face the things that you were feeling, or like what do you mean by that?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Are there fields or call them genres of your therapy that you feel accomplished in that you're willing to share with us today?
In what sense?
So for me, I talk about I have a panic disorder. Like I talk lots about anxiety because I feel like it's a more relatable example, and I do feel a lot of anxiety, but I feel panic more than I feel like still in the day. And when that hit me really hard at my like hardest times, and I was thankful to have a therapist at the time. My doctor was working with me. I was going through it. My therapist kept reminding me that this was going to be a blessing one day. And the blessing for me is that I can tell someone else that they'll get through it. You know what I mean? And I can speak with conviction. I've been there and I've been through that scary time and I got out of it. And so, in a perfect world, hopefully you can too, right? And so that was something that I was really confronted with and really struggled with. But I do like to talk about it now because I had an exceptional experience with my therapist. So I'm just wondering if you have anything that you'd be willing to share so we can connect a little bit deeper. What drives you for the mental health when it comes to giving back?
To be honest, I have lost more than one person in my life, due them taking their own life. And now, even in 2024, I don't think that men, particularly, talk enough, open up about their emotions and how they are feeling. There still seems to be a tendency to bottle things up.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Or put on a front with friends and family and social media. Pretend to be having this so-called perfect, glossy life. And that has got to change.
I do think it's changing. Just, as I watch these younger kids, and I have, a pretty large community here at the Renaissance Fair, and the younger kids coming up, they're a lot more affectionate, and they're a lot in tune with each other's state of mind, and you just consent for hugs, like simple thing. It's not a simple thing, but just I think that there's a shifting mentality about how men are supposed to, I mean, even like in popular culture, in movies and television shows, men are emoting more.
Mm-hmm. I heard something really important the other day. It said, and I'll probably bleep this out, but it said that, you know, these shitty male role models like Andrew Tate and these guys come out because there are no male role models. And so they're like, people are looking for someone to fill that void and tell you that this is okay, where there is no one else. Like, you know, you have your Simon Sinek's, but they just don't seem to, like, people don't click on their stuff as fast as when they're like heated or upset, like they usually are with some of these like red pill douchebags. But I don't know. It's starting to come. It's starting to come out more and more. Like, especially look at Ren. You know, he talks so openly about his mental health that it now makes me feel free to talk about my mental health, and then it allows the next person to like say the thing, right? So it's I think
And
it's
that
coming.
was the thing. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say about the doc and the space that he's created there. In that, you know, he can't actually therapize anybody. He's created a space where when we talk about that sort of stuff, and it comes up in turn for each of us, that there is a place where we know we can write this stuff out and it's going to be accepted with an open heart, even if, you know, people don't agree necessarily with my philosophy or my lifestyle or whatever.
Yep.
It's just really nice to have that space where we can share that sort of thing without fear.
Well, and I don't know about y'all, like I'm not very practiced in talking about my feelings. Like I talk a lot more about, in my case, like music and microphones and things. So sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 tries to actually say the thing that I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Because I'm not practiced. Like I need 2, 3 pitches to hit the ball, right? And that's okay. I just think that, I also think that, you know, there's other things like we don't get taught self-discipline of like, you know, waiting, or there's like an old military saying like you sleep on it. Like doesn't matter how or how upset you are, you can't report anything till the next day because you probably won't be that upset about it. But I don't know. There's something coming, and I'm here for it.
I tend to probably deflect a lot more with humor, but I know how to speak about my feelings. I just choose not to most people because, yeah, I just do.
Well, someone will
But
turn it around.
my
and
boys,
use
I'm
it.
actually impressed with both my kids. Like they're pretty open, and they're open with their friends. You know, whether it's just like joshing around and, you know, I love you, man, I love you, and they're hugging and they're like, they hang up the phone saying, love you, dude, you know, and I love hearing that, but they also, I hear them talking about stuff that's like bugging them too.
I love
So,
that. I love that.
yeah.
It's so important. Y'all want to keep going on the video? With that, I hope that that's something that's going to start being cool. I think we're starting to see it more in music, people being willing to open up. And even when you look at like some of the quote unquote more hardcore groups, like where the lyrics or the presentation of the music is more hardcore, it seems like people are starting to open up in ways that are much more emotional. And I hope that that spills into regular conversation. Like if you look at a lot of the pop lingo that people use in their day-to-day conversation, I hope that that becomes more emotionally developed, if that makes sense.
There's something that, before I forget about it, I want to say, I think one of the things, I had never watched reaction videos before finding Ren. And so one of the things, like one of my favorite things about reactions is when I find, you know, a reactor, it's either somebody who's like really, really into their music or their craft or whatever they do, and they show a lot of respect for what Ren's doing. But then there's also the ones where it's like all of a sudden you see these guys like hit with this hit. Like I haven't been brave enough in my art. Like I haven't been open enough with how I'm feeling about things. I'm like, I didn't even think I could do this. And you see this like moment that they're having when they're like, I'm inspired to go out and like write right now. I want to go out and I want to create something right now because they're watching this. Like, I mean, bravery isn't really the right word, but that's one of my favorite things to look for in some of the reactions. You know,
it is brave though. You know, they're willing to have a public display of their emotions through art, right? And, you know, like it's easy for me to talk about because I'm quite passionate about it and I do it full time and I kind of need it to be a thing. But there's something cool about like as a fan of reactors when you're watching and you see them connect and then, you know, maybe they're talking about bars or they're talking about like guitar playing and then all of a sudden that kind of goes away and now they're like, whoa, you like the message they're talking about. And then now they're pouring their life out and they're talking about like a trauma or an exciting thing or their partner and like it just all of a sudden they're connecting at this like full emotion. And sometimes like with me, it's always like, I don't know if I want to talk about that. I don't know if I want to turn it into that. And then by the end, it's like all I can talk about is just this emotional story, right? And I think it's just a beautiful
Watch
thing.
it. That's why we watch you or we watch some other individual. It's for that individual. It is about you to what because that makes it connectable, you know, like that universal in the most personal. So please
It's one of
continue.
those things about Ren's music, I think, has connected so many people. And part of that is just shaped by like my own view of it because my world was very small before all of this, and it has gotten much, much bigger. But yeah, like I picture it as all these different lights around the world going off. You can see it on the globe, all these connections that are happening between people, and they're genuine connections, which I had stopped really thinking were possible. Especially in places like YouTube, like these comment sections are cesspools for the most part. But within that community, it was so different. It was so different.
I heard or I read a study that said it only takes 10% of a crowd to switch the direction of a mosh pit. And I kind of thought to myself, we don't really have mosh pits anymore, but we got big comment sections and we got big like YouTube channels. I'm like, that's kind of the new thing. So I'm like, if only 10% are positive, maybe that'll push the masses, you know what I mean? Like over time.
Yeah.
Well, that's something I can do.
There, I can
Just,
mosh.
you know, trying to look at the ways that I can immediately make a difference and just going and saying something lovely to somebody who said something horrible can, you know, just kind of shift the whole energy. I like that.
I like
Maybe I'll do that more intention.
I like when people have like hate comments and I just respond like, I hope you're all right. Like, I truly do, you know, because that's a weird thing. That's another conversation.
What was the first Ren song you reacted to? Because I saw your very early ones, and it was definitely one of those where I'm like, oh, he fucking gets it. Like he gets it.
So that's a really good question.
You went weird.
That is a good question. I think my first one was either Hi Ren or the Tails, maybe. I might have done them both in the same video. So if I could just for a second.
It was the Tails and the Hunger, and then I think you did Hi Ren. Something like that.
It was something
Hunger
like that.
and the Tails.
But anyway, so like for me, most of my channel and most of my breakdowns come from like studios or live stages because I was a stage manager for a long time. I was a sound guy for a long time. And I love hip hop and I love rap. Like that's what got me into being a fan of reaction videos. But I can't either pay attention and keep up to like all the quick bars and the layers of it. Like I have to go through it 100 times to really catch it all. And I don't read that much. Like I'm from a small Canadian town. Like I keep myself busy. I work for myself. I'm not much for like a book reader. I listen to lots of books, but I'm not a book reader. So I miss a lot of things and I'm self-conscious about it. And I try to make up for it in the value that I have. But Ren gives you this like, Ren is not only so well read and so in depth, but he's got this like shock factor that just gives you like an expressive reaction anyways. And and I know he's got like some shocking like language, like say in Murder is the one I'm thinking, but it's just like his raw talent. It just like, how do you not emote to it? You know?
I think one of the things that really drew me into Ren was like, first of all, part of me really hates being surprised, but at the same time, he never stopped surprising me. Like, and that has been such a I just don't have that in most of my life anymore. Like, it's very few surprises, and yet I keep waiting for me to go. Maybe not that one. Yeah, no. But that's not happened yet. Like every time he does something, he exceeds my expectations in a way that I'm like, well, shit, I didn't see that coming. All right,
That's always a surprise.
Like every time I'm like, damn. All right then.
All right, that's I'll tag Ren in this. I'm gonna keep going on this video though. We're never gonna get through it.
All
But this is not
I shouldn't have started drinking.
Yeah, same. I gotta go make a refill soon. Wish though, right?
I think that independent musicians are leading the way in singing and talking about mental health. Artists like Ren, Chinchilla and Victus are blazing a trail in that sense. And these new online communities that they are building around them are wonderful. It's so good to see people opening up and supporting each other through life's trials and tribulations. I find that in my own Discord too. It truly is a beautiful thing and a fantastic use of technology to better society. Hey, what are your views on using AI in the process of creating music?
What do I think about AI and music? I think that I don't know enough about it to have a firm decision. I think that there's elements of it that are really cool. I don't know if I want someone else taking my voice, creating a song with it that I've never sang or wrote or anything, and using that for something. I don't know if I like that, but I would love to hear someone take my voice and like Jess singing this cover, or it's this cover but it's Jess's voice. Like I would love to hear one of those. I think like in lots of mixing and production and a lot of the technology side of it, I think the AI stuff's pretty cool. So like just to clarify on that, I don't want to hear like an original song that someone could pretend is me. But if you took me and made me sing Murderer by Ren, I would be into that. And it's like,
Alright.
it's kind of this fine line.
be in the position you don't want to be. Am I wrong?
Was that sorry?
Okay, I think my logic is faulty. Skip that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's this really weird fine line. Like I'd like it more as like an entertainment thing than like a new creation thing, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
Like karaoke on it.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead.
Or even like, for fun, it would be like, how would I sound singing this song so I can decide if I actually want to pursue it or not? Like I would find that cool.
Okay, yeah, that definitely has like a good purpose.
It might be motivating too. Be like, yo, if you practice like this long, like you could sound like this. Might be false hope, but
what if you used like that? Like
yeah. It all depends on the heart posture.
This person just
It all depends on the heart posture. Like if you're using it to try to make a buck on my name, then go away. But if you're using it just for fun and just for like love, then have at it, kind of thing,
So no posthumous Grammy performance up on stage as a hologram is what you're saying, really?
Nah, I don't want to see
Okay.
that.
did
Nah.
that happen?
Kiss is coming out as holograms now. They're gonna tour forever as holograms
Mm.
because that's what we need.
Mm. Yeah, I'm like, is it?
All right.
Okay, do what?
I still don't think that you could beat a heartbeat. I just think that there's something about that, that beating empathy that just makes music connect in a different way that I don't think AI will be able to capture. I think it'll do a really good job of it. I think it'll get people on the right path. I'd like to see it as like a measurement tool, like a coach. I didn't even remember talking about that. Be like, yo, if you practice like this for 6 months, this is what you might sound like. Oh shit! Apparently that's my opinion.
You ever have those moments where like you read an old comment of yours and go, wow, did I write that? That's exactly what I was thinking.
See, this is
When
where
you go to like somebody's comment, oh my god, that's so cool and original, but you realize you already liked it when you didn't like it. You don't.
This reminds me of my introduction to Disco Doc, where it felt like I was watching a video that in the moment was made for me, just because I don't know how AI works. Like I thought it was like, how you talk to chat GBT and it's supposed to be your friend within like 3 minutes, talks to you like familiarity or whatever. I was like, is this video doing this?
Mhm.
Is it tailoring it to my interests? And now I'm almost like getting that vibe again. I'm like, I don't remember saying that when we recorded this, but apparently I said it. So
Disco Doc.
At
Your
least
first
you're
introduction.
consistent,
what's that? Sorry?
At least you're consistent.
Yeah. My intro to Disco Doc was I can't remember which video it was. He talked about bodybuilding and he made a joke about female bodybuilders. And it freaked me out because I used to be in competitive bodybuilding and I have my trophies over here from bodybuilding. So I was like, whoa, it's like, what are the chances?
Are they in the room with me now?
Yeah, who's watching me? Like, blink my camera off.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
what you might sound like. That'd be kind of neat. How about yourself? You're in AI music. What do you think about it?
Obviously, I'm a fan. I think it will be a useful tool, just like you said. It will massively speed up creative workflows and be great for brainstorming and quickly trying things out, discarding stuff and iterating. I personally don't think AI is anything to be scared of. I think the dark desires and exploitative nature of human beings are to be a little bit feared, and this manifests and magnifies in the technology that we create.
Yeah, great for brainstorming. I love to walk into, because I was a live sound guy, right? I'd love to walk into a room and have a board or a room like pre-EQ'd or like whatever, sort the room out, get all the the audio technician stuff out of the way to the way that I would approach it. Because the algorithm or whatever is listened to all my mixes over the last 10 years. It knows how I would approach one of these rooms. Walk in, have it close, do my little touch-ups to what my ear thinks, and go on with the show. I think that'd be great. I started using AI for my calendar. Would recommend.
Awesome.
There's this app, and I'm not sponsored by them, but I'm willing to say their name anyways. It's called Motion. And it's an AI assistant. So you I do it on Sundays and Thursdays. I go in there and I type in just as many things as I can brainstorm. Like, I got to do this video. I got to respond to this person. I got to email this person. I got to look up this. I got to plan a podcast. I got to feed myself. And then it just puts it all into your schedule. And you can account for things like 15-minute breaks, or you get an email that says, hey, let's meet for coffee, or you get a text message if you set it up, hey, let's meet for coffee Sunday at 2:30. And then the assistant goes, do you want me to move all your YouTube videos? And I go, yep. And he goes, before or after the event? And I say, way after, go to the next day. But it's
That's pretty handy.
Once you get used to it, it's literally like having a Donna from Suits. Like, she's pre-planning everything for you. She knows when you want to eat. She knows what valuable time. So I think it tracks over time too. So I do most of my valuable work in the morning, and then most of my busy work in the afternoon. So it started scheduling it that way for me.
I probably need that.
Yeah, and it color codes it too for ADHD, y'all. I'm telling you.
Color code.
Oh yeah, this entire Discord is pretty much nothing but neurodivergence. Yeah, we all feel it.
We're really genuine.
That was my first note since one of the clues about Doc. So the motion app has been written down. I'm going to be looking that up.
There you go. Do you want to pivot out of this into a couple of your hobbies? You mentioned that you play more than one instrument. You've released a few original tracks. Put that loosely there. What other kind of art and entertainment are you into?
I try to avoid zoning out in front of the TV too much. There's a few classic shows I like. I'm really into quirky British comedy. The Inbetweeners, Peep Show, The Mighty Boosh, Black Books, The IT Crowd, that sort of thing. And I so love a good film. Then there's books. I read every single day. Love me a bit of dystopia, and lots of nonfiction too, on pretty much any topic. If it's in front of me and it has text, I'll read it. It's a form of self-regulation, for sure.
Book reader. Love a bit of dystopia.
I'm sure he's the only.
What's that?
I'm sure he's the only Ren adjacent person who's a book reader. I'm just saying,
I can't read books.
There's probably more than one.
Oh, I straight up
Right,
can't.
you had her.
I try. I would love to. I own a whole bunch of books, like self-development, self-management, sales, marketing. I own so many books. I can't read them, and I try.
But
And I
you
try.
You listen to them.
I can listen to them.
To them while you're doing. Okay.
So someone said
Anything
something.
my eyes are on is where my brain went. So it's like if I'm listening to it, I have to repeat the same paragraph over and over and over, and I'm still don't know where I'm at with it. But I can read it visually.
Interesting. See, someone told me once that they're like, if you listen to a whole audiobook and maintain 10% of it, they're like, that's 10% more than you had yesterday. They're like, so even if you have to listen to the book 6 or 7 times, like whatever, you learn something new every time. And like it really helped for forgiving myself, because I was the same. I'd like go back, and I'd be like, oh, I get it. And you listen once more, like, oh no, I don't get it. And so I would just let it burn by. I'll pay attention eventually, and I'll come back to it.
Mm.
Food for thought. I've only recently started to understand the dystopian thing. I have a hard time relating or consuming things if I can't totally understand it. So when things are like dystopian, it kind of clashes with my current understanding of reality.
Love me a bit of dystopia.
Have you ever considered pursuing any of those genres of expression, I guess we could say? Film, book writing, any other versions of storytelling? I know you do your documentaries, disco documentaries.
Well, I'll admit that I've published at least one adult book and one children's book, both under pen names. But my concentration makes it very hard to get through projects like that, or lack of concentration, should I say.
Really? Look at that. I'm learning something new about you today too.
I just took adult book the wrong way. That was all my bad. No, don't worry about me.
I did the same thing. I went, I
Are you
heard
sure
that
you did
different.
not?
I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't know.
Was it
So you
an
don't know
adult
what
book?
this adult book was?
I don't know the adult book, and they were under pen names too.
And what does, published mean? Like, did you put it in a vlog? Or did you get it printed by a well-known publisher? I mean, I think we can play fast and loose with the definition of published these days.
That's fair. That's fair. Gets another beer. Both under pen names. That's such an interesting concept. I'm pretty sure the movie Juno was submitted anonymously to like some. It's like a website where you could basically go and you can scroll through anonymous submissions to see if you want to pick up a movie or a script or whatever. And the idea was that if you had writer's block, you could submit something that maybe wasn't to your standard or like your reputation, but it just kind of got you through your writer's block. And I think Juno was inspired by or picked up by one of those. And I think that's kind of interesting, the whole anonymity thing, however that word is said. But really, if I could ask you kind of the elephant question here, why have you chosen the AI pursuit of a content creator? Where does that stem from?
Oh, now we're getting to the meat of it. I have to be careful what I say. There are various reasons why I can't reveal my identity. I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But there's lots of reasons why it just makes sense to keep up the mystique.
Because if you did, you'd have to kill us.
Plus, it's something that just isn't being done a lot. There are plus and negative points though. I often get people say that they can't deal with the AI voice, or lack of human nonverbal communication, facial expression, that kind of thing. But I do think that my particular brand of humor works better when it's properly researched and scripted to some degree, rather than completely off the bat. But to be clear, just because I have a script, doesn't mean I'm not saying the first thing that comes into my head. Because I do. Hey, what can I say? It's complicated.
Oh yeah, I got you. I'm like that. I'm like that. My videos, sometimes it gets so awkward. I like stumble over words, or I'll like invent words in the moment that don't mean anything, or they sound like a really dirty joke and I'm trying to be serious and it's just like, God damn it. So
Relatable.
I'm better when I'm a little scripted too, which is kind of funny because all my videos are off the bat, quote unquote, but
It's a big cup of coffee.
those of y'all that don't know, I'm a Southern Alberta boy. I live just a couple hours south of Calgary. I was curious if you've ever been out our way. Wonder if we've ever crossed paths accidentally.
So, I've already said that I am a UK citizen. I have a British passport. But, yes, I have spent some of my life in Calgary. I've also lived at different times on the south coast of England, as well as further north in the UK.
You've been a little around everywhere, eh? How has that affected? I'm going to do some assuming here. I'm assuming that you're going to have a regional accent. Has that changed by living in those places?
My accent is a bit of a mash-up, I guess. I've never really thought about it.
The spare parts accent?
I mean that with love. I love how British people talk. I could just listen to them speak all day long.
I have the GPS set for the British accent just because I'm like, yes, I'll go wherever you say.
Whatever you say, yeah.
Christine, we'd like to hear that accent now.
No, I've got a
My
very strong
dad-
northern accent.
Oh.
I've got a very strong northern accent. I don't think you would understand anything I say.
I love it.
I love it too.
I
It
love
just, like, makes
Even
my
if I-
ears happy.
Even if I didn't understand, I would nod my head and be like, just talk more, please.
Right?
You
Yeah.
have to have subtitles if you heard me talking.
I like that, man. Sounds like you're well traveled.
What was that, sorry?
You'd have to have subtitles on.
So this is interesting because I don't know if I'm supposed to reveal like things that Doc has dropped in the Discord, but the whole Calgary thing, he did give us a really meaty clue at one point, but I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it.
Why? I can delete it out.
He
Yeah.
said that he had been like at one point he had done the luge and the skeleton in the Calgary Olympic place.
Yeah, at Olympic
I
Park.
don't know. Yeah. Olympic Park, thank you. I'm like, I couldn't find that word. But I was like, really? Really? He said it was terrifying because he had just gotten off the plane like an hour before or something, and he was jet lagged, and it was absolutely terrifying.
That sounds like Doc is
Are
full
you
of
just
shit. Who, me?
Calgary, Jesse? I don't know. Here he is
been a
interviewing
rumor.
himself.
It's been a rumor for a minute.
You know, anything's possible.
Doc invited me, like, jokingly to a really specific steakhouse in Calgary, and it made me like almost stop in my tracks. I went, like, well,
Like
you
you
know,
shouldn't know that.
I don't think if you Google it, like, I don't think, like, you would have to dig and probably look and find, like, through the yellow pages and find the one. Because, like, I don't know, Calgary's got a lot of restaurants, y'all. There's like 2.3 million
Steakhouse.
steakhouse. If I remember the
Like
name,
some
I'll tell you.
cowboy thing, something or other.
I'm not gatekeeping at all, I promise.
I like that, man. Sounds like you're well traveled.
Canadians are so damn friendly. Some of the nicest people I've ever spent time with.
Hey, we try. I'm from the unfriendliest part of Canada, and it's I don't fit in. is what I've chalked it up to. But it's interesting because when I go to the East Coast, it's like, oh, my people, just one of us kind of thing, right? Like,
It's still pretty conservative in Alberta, isn't it?
very conservative in Alberta. And blindly, I don't want to get into politics, but blindly,
All that shale oil money. And steak.
shale oil money, yep. We pay all the other provinces like a premium just because we make a bunch of money. Steak, yeah, you absolutely got that right. You know what's interesting? Have you ever had a clubhouse? I'm not even in the club. But
Y'all ever had a clubhouse?
I go to the clubhouse all the time. Friend of mine, my dad and I did a bunch of work around their farm, and went to just like a local restaurant, and I ordered a clubhouse. It's like a triple decker. It's got bacon, turkey, or ham, whatever, chicken and cheese and whatever. And I ordered it, and the daughter looks at me and goes, "I have never had a sandwich like that ever in my life." And I went, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Steak and beef." That's all we eat. But when you got the cattle farm, that's about it.
Lots of cattle farms out here. Y'all are looking at me like I'm crazy for
Yeah,
having a
In
clubhouse.
Colorado, where you come from.
No, it's not. It's just interesting to me because it's like these are not the little things that you know about regions that aren't your own until you actually connect with somebody who lives in one of them, you know?
Yeah. Because Texas, y'all got some beef too, right?
We do, but I don't connect Alberta with cows in my brain. So,
Oh, interesting. Yeah. We're the beef like country. Like I won't eat
You're just
steaks
north of
other
Wyoming,
places.
right?
What's that?
Is Alberta just north of Wyoming? Because doesn't just beef
Montana.
continue straight up from Texas? I think.
just a beef
Just
shoot from here up.
it migrates up north.
The beef corridor.
Yeah, you got it.
About it. Talk to me about
Like I
Lake
said, beef
Louise.
shoot.
Beautiful, beautiful country out there.
My favorite place is Lake Louise, and I love Canmore.
Canmore,
Just
yeah.
stunning.
Canmore is the affordable version of Banff. Banff has big mountains though, which is nice. Waterton's a really nice area if you ever want me to take you around on a webcam or something. But the mountains are smaller than in Banff and Canmore. Canmore is way cheaper too.
I actually went to a wedding at Lake Louise. We had cherry cigars sat on canoes.
Ooh,
Great time.
yeah, see? Out on that blue lake too, that like emerald green or whatever blue color that is.
Have you been to the UK?
I have never been overseas. I have been to Guatemala, Costa Rica, all over Canada. Like we've driven both ways. Bunch of the States. Gone to like concerts all over in the States, and been fortunate enough to meet a couple like Patreon friends, people who I've met through Patreon and YouTube. Go to a couple concerts with them. Done like the Vegas, done the LAs. How about you? What about in the States? You talked to me about Canada. You ever been to America?
America.
America?
Yeah, I've
That's
done
so
the whole of the
embarrassing.
west coast of America.
The whole West
right down
Coast.
to San
Beautiful
Diego,
one, man.
and even popped over to Tijuana.
Beautiful. It's wild the temperature changes over a few hundred kilometers, you know? Cool. How was it?
If I tell you any more about the trip, I'd be giving too much away.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Could you live in any of those places?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
I mean, how could it be giving anything away if there weren't some information already out about some trip? I mean, there's, anyway, just
This is a carefully
That's
crafted answer. Just saying.
Well
right. Oh yeah,
scripted.
carefully crafted. I have to keep that in mind. Yes.
How are y'all doing for time? I know we're at an hour already.
No, I'm good
I'm-
for time.
Yeah.
My calendar's clear. Nothing I can't move around.
I still have like 3 or 4 beers left in the cooler here, so we're good. We're good.
Okay. Okay. Keep it rolling.
I'm out of alcohol, but my
Fair enough.
husband brought the bowls, so we're good.
Perfect.
Fair enough.
It's legal
Could you
here. It's
live
legal here. It's
in
legal
any of
here.
those places? Go right back up to Banff, Lake Louise, and Canmore, down to Tijuana, San Diego, Vancouver, any of those? Anything on the way?
I could definitely see myself settling in somewhere like Canada, if the stars aligned.
Canada's the place, man. Canada's the place.
Probably British Columbia, though. No offense.
Yeah, they got shitty roads in PST, though.
Y'all know where British Columbia is in comparison to like me and Calgary? It's about like an hour and a half drive. So Calgary is 2 hours north of me. And if I head west, it's about an hour and a half to British Columbia. It's the next province over.
Okay, so they're just north of like Washington.
Yep. Washington,
Is Vancouver part
Idaho.
of British Columbia?
Vancouver is, yeah, it's an island. It's like the capital of BC. BC is mostly known for like their forestry and their coal mines and their bunch of mines. But it's beautiful. Like it's just forest and mountains, just as far as you can see. Beautiful, beautiful. Bunch of hippies.
Mhm.
I don't want to pay 2 sales taxes on everything, you know?
Sales tax too, though.
Telling you got to come down, check out the farm. We're going to put a 6-foot fence up around the whole thing. It's going to be like a cult without being a cult.
Yeah.
It's going to sound like a
You gonna
cult,
put 'em
but
to
it's
work?
not a cult.
Sure.
Going to raise chickens and just trade with each other.
Tell me more about where you've settled, how and why.
Tell me more about where I've settled. Well, we there is a lot to that story that I'm not willing to face yet, if I'm being perfectly honest. And I'm trying to find the language that serves my heart to talk about it. And I still find myself not serving myself in the whole story. So when I get there, I will share. But we basically, my fiance and I lived in a house. We lost the house. It was a really shitty deal. And just packed up and left in a matter of hours. And we were in my parents' basement, man, with like a whole house worth of stuff, a 140-pound dog, and an outside cat, half inside, half outside cat. And just like out of the blue, my mom called an old family friend who had a beautiful acreage just down the street from my parents and asked if they were renting it. And they said, yeah, absolutely. What's going on? My mom said, well, you know, her son, me, and my now fiance, kind of in a pickle. Said we had to move into the parents' basement. We're looking for a place to stay. And he said, well, it sounds like my mom's in the pickle. So they let us in, man, like within 20.
The owner of this property also got me arrested. First time I got arrested.
Wait. Was this before or after you started renting?
Yeah.
Long before. I was only 13.
Okay.
And he's got a
That would have
shop.
been a whole different story.
Right. He's got a shop that's like on the street, and someone was breaking into it, and he caught them. And this person said that their name was my name, and then he let them go and called the cops. So then the cops came and arrested me and took me down to his house. And he was like, no, that's my neighbor's kid. And they're like, oh, shit.
So that's still on your record?
For a little while, it would like cause me grief. Like if we were like skateboarding and stuff and a cop would like run our name, I would flag. And they would like give me the whole freaking 9. But in LA, on my way back from Guatemala, what's that? Sorry?
I'm sorry, smart kid.
Yeah, seriously. Except in a small town, everybody knows everybody. I got fingerprinted at the airport in LA on some like I had some protein powder with me, and I was coming back from Guatemala, and they thought it was bodybuilding drugs because I was like pretty big at the time, and so they fingerprinted me and the whole shit, and now it's a pain in the ass to go like anywhere. Yeah. All the rest of the stuff, none of that caused me any issues, but getting fingerprinted at that damn airport. Anyways. 24 hours.
I'm still processing. I'm still processing that whole story.
It's a lot.
So you guys have been, how long have you been at the farm you're at now? Like the place I guess you're renting from them?
This is my second year now. So we moved in August 27th, not this past year, the year before that. No preparation people are sick, but it's a whole thing and I'll talk about it one day, but I'm happy. I'm grateful. I'm alive. Got air in my lungs. That's all that matters.
You seem happy. And one of those people, like when you are genuinely like being happy, it's like it feels good to everyone else that's watching it too.
I appreciate that. The
extrovert, it's not bullshit.
The extrovert in me really appreciates that.
It's been nothing but.
What's that?
I was just questioning that you were an extrovert, but cool.
So extroverted. We can talk about that after. So extroverted.
Like serious upticks in my mental health, man. Like we had a huge vegetable garden last year. Like we were feeding birds and horses and everything, and we couldn't keep up with our own storage. We just put an order in we're getting 10 chickens here right away. We're gonna get 2 goats, and we're doing everything we can, man, to just keep this place forever, because there's something about space and freedom and a little bit of self-sufficiency that I think is just good for the soul. And you know, if we there's a lot of health and like food choices that a guy has to make. One of them should be eating foods that are grown with like on the same water system as you, so like within 100 kilometers. And like if I can grow it on my in the backyard with water that I also drink from, like it's a beautiful thing.
It sounds like you've connected with the land after a very tough time, literally grounding.
It's literally grounding, and I've not been one, because I'm not one to focus and finish something or do something for intention. Like it's always the next thing. But I can go and I can pour a cup of coffee and I can go wander around in a field and just get lost in my head, and I can sing as loud as I want to. I can yell as loud as I want to. I can not make a noise, and nobody cares, man. Nobody even knows I exist out there. And it's this brilliant moment of like being so impactful and so not impactful at the same time. Because everything I do is just me. Like if I'm nervous or if I feel embarrassed or like shy about something, that's 100% on me, man. There is not one person that even knows I'm out there. So like, yeah, it's been freeing, man. Stomping around in my bare feet in the mud, playing in the dirt.
Are you recycling your own poo though? Asking all the important questions
Not my poo.
here.
Not my poo. I did see what do you call that? Like a title, a clickable title or whatever, talking about a country where people are stealing each other's poop. Not for me. Not for me.
Human poop's not good for much.
Oh, Amalia, you have a story about this, don't you?
Yeah, my husband and I are homesteading, and we are definitely not putting our waste in sawdust and then curing it for many, many years before it becomes the hugel base for a hugel to grow food upon.
I didn't know you had a
Because-
Google garden.
I'm kind of doing a I don't know, hybrid kind of thing, hybrid human or hugel.
Okay.
Human or hugel.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, we have we're getting our solar in. We're getting there. It's been a long-term plan, and we're getting to fruition here, which is really nice.
So you know what I'm talking about. I'm just in year 2, but we're working our way.
Man, out in the middle of Colorado, I don't know what Alberta's like up there, but I'm like, we're in the Rockies. I'm in the Sangre de Cristo Southern Rockies, and it's pretty dry, although we're at the beginning of the water, which is a really great place to be. Like we're at the beginning of the Rio Grande. Yeah, we've spent many years just prepping the land. So, chickens are next.
I can see the Rockies on a clear day. I can see them. They're just up that way. So it's not too different. We're like Montana. We're basically Montana.
Northern Montana.
Yeah.
I'm always amazed when we
Have
talk
you
to
ever-
people in the UK, like how small they are there.
Oh yeah.
Like my
And their
state
reaction
is
is beautiful.
almost 3 times the entire size of the UK.
Unreal.
Wow. Yeah, I've driven through it.
Sorry about
Very
that.
long.
That's okay. Don't apologize.
Not for me. Not for me. But if you're ever in the neighborhood, man, love to have you on the farm. You can roll your desk out here, or however that would work. You've told me some really interesting things before that I'm hoping you can elaborate on without telling too much. So one of them was that you came from, we'll call it like a struggle or a lesser position than you are in today. And you said that you've built yourself into a place where you can really take care of your family, really provide for those around you. And I was wondering if you could talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, look, I wouldn't say that I've ever been financially destitute, but it's not all about money, is it? Growing up wasn't an easy experience for me, emotionally. I often felt like I was the odd one out. I didn't quite fit in. I was a player in this game of life, but I didn't quite understand the rules of the game, or even the goal of it. All very existential, and I have been through some very, very dark times. Times when I really wasn't sure if I could go on. And to look back on all of that now, with the benefit of hindsight, years later, when I have worked so hard to build a life that I am proud of, sometimes I just wish I could go back to that younger me, and reassure him that everything is gonna be okay.
I hope you don't sit in that wish too much. Like it's nice to reflect.
100%.
But, there's an interesting tale about time and space kind of being just a myth. And, your younger self and your current self could be the same person. You can heal heal your inner child at the current time of whatever you are in your adulthood, somewhere between 30 and 50.
That's a great point. Nice.
And no one else knows better about how it turned out than you who's living it right now. So yeah, I mean, it would be nice to conveniently go back into time, but I'm just saying, man, like time is up to you.
And what would you say to younger Jess if you could?
What would I say to younger Jesse? I would say like stick to your guns, man. Like I've always been the person to preach and say the right things. And actually I got called out for it today. It was like I relied on talent rather than building skill. And I found that in my personality a lot too. Like I was really good at getting people to like me, but nobody challenged me. Like nobody took the time to challenge me. And I just kind of lived in that. So I would say to really like find myself and really stick to that, because I'd spend a long time trying to people please and conform and trying to find ways to get everyone around me to like me rather than just appreciating what I had going on, why people were quote unquote liking me and this and that. Like I didn't need to spend so much time proving that to others. I could have spent time proving it for myself, right? That makes sense.
You're describing an external locus of evaluation, where you are reliant on other people and factors outside of yourself in order to validate yourself. You can't quite grab it from within.
I had this weird thing, and I really don't want this to sound egotistical. It's just like my way of describing it, but it seems like people are quick to fall in love with me and slow to judge me. And that has built like a lack of accountability in my life, I think. And it's tough because I've been in situations where, like, say, I'll be at a job where my superiors or my managers or supervisors become like my best friends. And like, we definitely have crossed lines in sharing information and like inside information, nothing I could like capitalize on or anything, right?
Not like stock stuff. I'm not going to jail here. I'm talking like just stuff you shouldn't talk about with your supervisors.
I have to pee.
Okay.
Y'all do what you need to do.
Do you guys want to take a refill break for a minute, or should we keep going, or what do you think?
She'll be quick. I don't know. I'm hoping you can't hear the cat screaming on the other side of my door.
No. Can you guys hear my
Now
cat
they go
screaming?
quiet.
My cat is also screaming on the other side of the door.
Okay. Well, I had to stop for a second to make sure it was actually my cat. It is my cat.
Okay.
I have one cat that like knows how to get under your skin, like with the sound of a baby crying, and then another cat that goes, "Hello, meow, meow." It's annoying.
Goofs, eh?
But I totally bribed them with treats before this started.
Well, it's almost done. We only got 8 minutes left.
She'll be back.
I might actually refill my beverage real quick. I'll be 2 seconds.
Okay. So Christine, I feel like Ren is sitting here staring at me, judging me this entire time because like I can see his face and he's not saying anything. He's just quietly pondering.
I'm watching and learning and thinking.
Are you going to be
Have you
going
learned
to SGP?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good.
I'm going.
Good.
Yeah.
You guys you guys rented a place off site, right?
No, I'm gonna be buying a tent. I did get a hotel room, but I thought by the time I finished, maybe having to get taxis there and back, that's gonna be £30 each way. Or if they've got buses going, but I might miss one. So I just decided no, I'm just gonna end up getting a tent and staying on site. Be a lot cheaper.
I think that in the end is going to be. I don't know. The whole thing is going to be wild for me. I don't know. But I initially had like reserved some rooms just because I wasn't sure what the weather was going to be like, and I don't temperature regulate well, so I was a little worried about the heat. But then when I looked and I saw that the high there is like our low here this time of year, I was like, oh, we'll be fine.
It should be good in July. End of July, it should be good. No problems with weather. I don't.
Hi.
All right, we good?
Yeah, I waited as long as I could.
But like, just like really personal relationships, and then just one day I'm just gone. And it's like, that's such a weird thing. But like, if I look at the reality of it, it's like I was just there because of my personality. I wasn't there because of my like ethic, right? And those are things that I've had to be confronted with, and it sucks. Especially being someone who's gone through a lot of that, man. Because like I was quite overweight after high school. I lost like 100 pounds and competed in bodybuilding, and like that kind of determination, that kind of dedication is very much how I like to identify.
Bodybuilding? I like to lift weights too. There's nothing quite like that whole body feeling after a good session. It's like the energy of the universe is surging around your body. Life is coursing through your veins. All the endogenous feel-good chemicals and hormones, I suppose. Hey, this reminds me of when you reacted to my losing it video and I told that bodybuilder joke.
That was the one.
And you grabbed a trophy and laughed. You did look like you were freaking out. That was quite a synchronicity. Given that you rarely check your YouTube channel mention notifications, you stumbled upon mine, and now here we are. Virtually besties. Get it? Virtual friends? Ah, forget it. Shall we replay your reaction to that joke, for old time's sake?
That's a great flip, man. Great wordplay. What's he gonna say? What's he gonna say?
Please, Roxanne, you said I'm
Give
a
it to
dick
me.
when I get out of hand. You look quite fit with my dick in your hand.
I have lost count of the times Ren has mentioned his penis. That reminds
I'm gonna scratch my desk.
me of a joke. A woman weightlifter goes to the doctor, not me, a real doctor with certificates they didn't print themselves.
For now.
The woman says I've been taking steroids and now I've grown a cock. Anabolic? Asks the doctor. No, the woman replies. Just the cock. Get it? Anabolic? Anabolic? Oh, forget it.
Oh man. Oh my god. I wish I knew how AI worked better, okay? I truly do. I truly do. I don't think y'all understand. I don't think y'all understand how hard that joke hits.
I remember watching that.
Oh man, the joke it was like a thumb.
The bit of my comb, I run on don don. I'm the king of the bongo.
That's rude though. Shout out to my female weightlifters, man. A lot of y'all, all of y'all could beat the shit out of me. I'm so out of shape these days.
Oh, forget it.
Jump on the bit of my comb, I run on don don. I'm the king of the bongo bong. And I'm flipping the shit like a swanton bomb. Are you dizzy? Are you dumb?
Are you dumb?
Hard,
Hang on a
man.
minute. I still haven't
Hold on,
got
I missed it.
Are you dizzy? Are you dumb?
Hang on a minute. I still haven't got over your reaction to that last joke. It was funny, biatch. Okay. how
Yeah,
about
man,
this
that's
one?
what I'm talking about. That's like the AI thing freaks me out a little bit because it feels too personal now. This feels too personal.
What do you call a
That's what you were
bodybuilder
talking
with
about
a big
earlier,
penis?
wasn't it?
A beginner.
Wait.
A big. That's so funny. That's so funny. Holy shit. Holy shit.
I don't even know how many layers we have going on right now.
There's so many layers. And it's weird because I remember watching that the first time, and it was when I was like having this moment where like, okay, I'm gonna like you. I'm gonna like you.
I appreciate that. I actually flooded my driveway. I was so distracted. Like I was watching the video, trying to figure it out. I'm like turning my sprinklers off, and I apparently unscrewed one of the hoses instead of turning the irrigation off. So it just poured out on my driveway. Like, and it's just rocks. Like, it's homesteady kind of, right? It's just rocks. And I come back out the next morning to just like a lake. I was like, oh shit.
Damn it, Doc.
So, yeah, that got me good. That one got me real good. I have no idea where that camera was for this angle, though. I like that angle. Anyways. Man, I'm like... This is a weird feeling I'm going through right now. What happened?
It
Oh, I
was
muted
this
it.
moment. I was just like, okay, I really relate with this
Okay.
guy.
How about this one? What do you call a bodybuilder with a big penis? A beginner.
Wait, just wait a sec. Wait, let me catch my breath. I'm about to go beast mode. I'm about to go rock back. Hacking the rapping, I got the rhythm. I'm back on the map. I'm rapping and rapping. No gap, I'm ripping and dripping. In fact, you're tripping, you're slipping. I'm so prolific. I'm flipping the track the quickest in Britain. I got precision when spitting the fight. Come with the rhythm and giving the flow. Coast to coast, I boast to be the most explosive.
Fire,
you know,
man.
psychosis I get when I start to spit. And when the beat drops like this.
Holy shit, Ren. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, sorry, Mr. Dr. B. Like his accent makes this sound way crazier too, man, and that's wild.
Beast mode. I'm about to go
Yeah,
back in the
That was wild.
That was a weird
That
time.
was wild.
Africa.
That, like, I'm not gonna lie, because I had no idea what was going on.
What's that?
I don't know. You're talking for real. You're black now, so I can't see your face.
Oh, am I all blacked out now?
So
Let me fix it. Oh, what the hell happened?
We're almost
So,
at the end.
yeah,
He's like, "Fine, push through, push through.
Push through, push through, push through. We're almost there. We're almost there. There it is.
anyway,
Doc is
Okay.
like, oh, this won't take you
now
long. And
that
they're like
you're
5 hours later.
not one of you in this multiverse talking.
Keep it straight.
Yeah, that's the third you we've seen.
I should have changed my hoodie.
And I really don't understand
Wait till he
AI things,
publishes.
so I tried the chat GBT thing, and I'm sure it scours the internet for like your email and everything that's public and all the stuff. I've worked in like data gathering or whatever, and it started talking to me like it was my friend, like within 2 sentences, saying things how I say things, how my friends say things. Like, it was weird, right? So now all of a sudden I'm watching
Chat
this
GPT
video
I'm talking about.
that I hear is AI. Let's make bodybuilder jokes, and I just went, this feels like it's happening like for me in real time. Like, this video is being created for me, and I know how YouTube works. It's not like that. That's definitely what it felt like.
Look, and I have all my permissions turned off. I don't know how it's doing it.
It knows too much. Too much.
The trophy's become a bit of an emoji in a couple communities now.
The trophy has, like a lucky talisman? Hey, that reminds me. I meant to ask you. Do you have a lucky number or a favorite number at all?
Ooh, great question. Great question.
Also, what is your mom's maiden name and the name of your pet? And if you have elementary school, where did you go?
If you had 3 numbers at the end of your social insurance number, what would they be?
Exactly.
I've always been like a lucky number 13 person, but I wanted to give up on it because it just seemed too common. And then I switched to 18. And I was an 18 guy for a long time, and I don't really have a reason behind that. Just kind of stuck with me. How about yourself?
Well, I'm sure my regulars will be jumping into the chat at this point and saying 69. Filthy animals that they are. But it's actually 42. That is a very important number to me.
And without revealing too much,
There's been lots of reasons over my life. It just keeps cropping up.
oh, so there's just synchronicity after synchronicity at 42 or what?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. I like that. 'Cause
Yeah.
Now I just want to ask more questions.
Yeah.
The curiosity's got me.
Plus the whole Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy thing.
You know what's funny is I used to sell furniture, and that's a movie, right? I'm sure it's a book too, but it played on the TV. No, that was Guardians of the Galaxy. Never mind. Don't even listen to me.
It was a book first. By Douglas Adams.
First book?
In it, 42 is the answer to life, the universe and everything. You should really check it out.
Douglas Adams.
It's a cult
Interesting.
classic.
Not much of a reader.
Talks
42
about
is the
It was,
answer to
it
life,
was
the
a
universe,
movie, though,
and
right?
everything.
With like most stuff,
Interesting.
wasn't it?
What's that?
I think they made a movie out of it, right? With like most stuff, wasn't it?
Interesting.
Zoe.
God, I could be pulling that completely out of my ass. I don't know. I couldn't jump that, but I'm pretty sure in my mind, most stuff had something to do with Hitchhiker's Guide.
I'll look it up.
42 is the answer to life, the universe, and everything. Interesting. Yeah, I've never heard that. But I'm going to have to look into it.
Still gonna have to look into
You've
it.
given me reason to, and I appreciate that.
And if you
Well,
had a
look,
zero,
Jess, it's about time to wrap things up.
What's that, sorry?
yeah, a zero, we're at 420.
420. My problem with 420 is I'm gonna smoke as much on 419 as I am on 421. So it's just kind of
You do it. Do
just
it.
keep it going. Just keep it going.
That.
Well, look, Jess, it's about time to wrap things up. It's been great chatting with you.
Has been great chatting. I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me today.
I appreciate you and all the support you have given me and the channel over the last 6 or 7 months.
You let me know if you need anything from me in the future.
And I love your reactions too.
Hey man, right back at you. Right back at you.
Please everyone make sure you are subscribed to Jess. He brings a unique lens given his background in audio tech.
Wouldn't be here without you.
I've done 42 Ren videos. Holy shit, I didn't know that.
That's a lot.
Exactly 42
Okay.
videos.
Bye
Whoa.
for now.
42.
Coincidence?
Weird. Weird.
What a yeah. Oh, I never even thought about that. I'm sending Doc a pic of that right now. And it says
See, now
hi, Ren.
you're doing the same thing to AI that AI was doing to you with the bodybuilding. You're gonna freak him out.
How's this?